All right, cool. I think we're live, brother. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna ask, the peeps, can they hear you? I just want to make sure I got audio.
Okay.
All right, cool. I think. All right. First off, I just want to give thanks to the Great Spirit. You guys know how we always start the build on this platform. This is about truth. Again, honoring, what I'm saying, the Most High. We know that, within this paradigm of our existence, we know there's a greater force. And whatever you call the force, that's on you. But at the end of the day, we have to give honor and respect and praise to the universal creator. With that being said, I know for longevity, we have to honor our mothers and fathers. So I definitely honor all my ancestors, you know what I'm saying? Because they are me and I'm them. So I just want to get that out of the way. And, we have a great build as usual today. Guys, don't forget to support the super chat. I got the brother Lee. He's actually on the phone, and he wasn't able to connect through the internet because he's having some internet problems, but I had to get creative. So what I did was I got him on speakerphone and I hooked it up to my I have a little box, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make it do the do. I have this, so hopefully you guys could hear him coming out of the speakers. So brother, let me introduce you. This is brother Lee Cummings. He's an author, a historian, a translator. He's the author of the book series, The Negro in Question. All right, and we're gonna make it happen because nothing could stop this truth. And this platform is about bringing truth. It's not about debating. I'm not into fighting with my brothers and sisters. It's about learning the truth so that we could all come together and respect each other's culture. Because the only way for us as a people, all right, to move forward is for us to learn our true story and learn his story and be able to come together and see how we could move forward and deal with this parasite that's destroying each and every one of us. All right. So with that being said, brother, I just gave you an introduction, but you could introduce yourself. Let me see if the people could actually hear you on the live.
For myself?
Yes, go ahead, brother. I just want you to say a few things to see if they could hear you.
Yes, my name is Brother Cummings, the author of the Negro In Question book series. How's everybody?
All right, so guys, can you guys hear him? He was just as doing. I just want to make sure the audio is good and y'all could hear him. You know what I mean? So let me know if you could hear him, or else I may have to, reschedule that. But I wanted to go as planned as I promised. You know what I mean? So let me know if you could hear the brother. All right. So yeah, brother. So I know you're Lee Cummings, right? But tell us a little about yourself and how. Well, if it's okay to tell the people, how did you come into how to be, to become interested in, being a historian and being a writer? Like, what's your foundation?
Well, I'm basically I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but okay. This is the thing. But when I first started out, the truth that I was pursuing was being Israel. Whereas I started out, but right around 2013, 2015, the Most High showed me that the indigenous people of North America and the Americas were black people. Mm-hmm. And he also showed me that the original colonists of the 13 British colonies were black Brits. Mm-hmm. So, from that launching pad, I began to move forward and write other books concerning the matter.
Okay, all right, that's beautiful, because you see, for me, I've kind of like had the same, premonition, and my ancestors came to me actually in visions, and I tell people that, and a lot of people don't believe, in the communication that we have with the Great Spirit and our ancestors, and it's real for me. And one day, I'll just let you know real quick, they came to me in a vision, and they showed me practically everything that they went through on this landmass called America. And from that moment, I started a journey where I was going to tell the truth. Now, you said that the Most High, showed you that that the indigenous people of the Americas were dark-skinned people. So that's what I know, not just believe, right? But let us go back to the beginning, where everybody is under the impression, like what we were taught in school, that every dark-skinned person came from Africa. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's one of them great lies that the Europeans they had to tell that lie to set us up for the okie doke. When you go back and look at the ancient artifacts, manuscripts, you see that there were the blacks in Mesopotamia, the ancient Sumerians. They were described as the black-headed people, and that's how they describe themselves in their own writings. If you go down to ancient Anatolia, which is ancient Turkey, you find black Hebrews with fringes on their garments. In fact, Phrygia, you see the black king who they thought was a myth. King Midas was a black man. Sargon the Great from Mesopotamia was black. King Buddha of Mesopotamia was black, and so was Abraham, the prophet. And we have artifacts. We have untampered artifacts that prove these things. In fact, most of these artifacts are in European museums. The British Museum, the Louvre Museum down in Paris, and then the Jewel Europa Synagogue, just to name a few.
Okay. All right. So that's great, man. That's a beautiful thing. So, all right. So I'm trying to put the connection, all right, put everything in perspective. Now, we were told in history, of course, we know that Cristobal Colon didn't discover America. Right now, it's been proven, okay, throughout many artifacts, history books, and stories that original people were already here. Now, my question to you is this, all right? During the period of 1492, it seems that Christopher Columbus, when he came here, he knew his way, and he also had translators. Okay, so who were these people? All right, people think it was the pale man that was actually guiding Christopher Columbus into the Americas. Who were these people?
I don't understand. Could you rephrase the question?
Yeah, the question is, when you know, based on my research, when Christopher Columbus came here, right, when he navigated here, he had people who translated our languages for him, right? So, who do you know who these people were?
Well, the book says the history teaches that there were 7 black Indian nations that were already established in the Americas when the Europeans got here. In fact, if you go back and look at the original charters, and this is critical, the original charters that the Stuart Kings, King James, the Stuart Kings being King James VI of Scotland, first of England, King Charles the First, and King Charles II, and also King George the First, the Black German King of England. Now, the Stuart Kings were Black Scottish kings. If you go back and read the original charters, they describe their encounters with the indigenous people, and they state that when they came into the land, they came into the land for one purpose: to spread the gospel, and they bought land from the people. Well, the people were already here.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm glad you said that. So you said that. So let me just confirm what you were saying.
But that's in the original. That is in the original charters of the 13 colleges. But they don't ever. So when you're in school, they don't ever read the original college charters. They don't ever teach from the original charters.
Oh, okay.
And the reason they don't do that is because on the original charters, the indigenous man is a black man, the Indian, and so is the kings of the black kings of Scotland. There's another thing. There's some artifacts that have Andrew Jackson's image on. Andrew Jackson has 3 Indians in his hand. Where he's making peace, and these 3 Indian chiefs are all black.
Okay, so
in fact, there's an eyewitness account, and I'm gonna say it again, eyewitness account from William Penn, the man that founded Pennsylvania, in which he describes the Indians as black. He said this is what he said. He said that they used to take bear fat and put it on their skin, and they were swarthy, or that they were what? They were black people.
Okay, so let me just put this in perspective, right? And again, and just, you know, for my audience sake on this platform, and I'm not gonna even do the semantics with words right now because we just want to get the information. All right.
Ask him, are you able to hear me clearly?
Guys, are you able to hear the brother? He wants to know if you guys could hear him when he speak. Let me wait for a response from them. Can you guys hear the brother? All right, can you guys hear the brother when he's talking? I just need a yes or no, because this information is very, very important. And the brother have the documents, you know what I'm saying, that he could actually prove what he's talking about. Okay, so brother, they could hear you. All right, maybe we may need to do a part two, but definitely this is an introduction, and I appreciate that. So let me just reiterate some of the things you said, right? And just so you know, and I'm not even gonna get asinine about this. Just for this build's sake, all right, the brother is going to be using the term black people, all right, so guys, please do not be offended, even if we know we are not black. He's just talking about overall what the people said they found, the type of, literally they were comparing in terms of color, the people, so he's going to be using the word black, so let us not get too crazy about the semantics, all right? Let the brother say his piece, and we know already who they're talking about. I just need the information. Right now, we don't need to be critical, all right? All right, good.
What phraseology do you guys use?
No, because we describe ourselves as brown skin and copper tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem with
yeah.
that.
Okay. So the brother said he respect that, and I appreciate that. All right. So, bro, let me just confirm what you just said, right? So, just to digress a little bit. So, you said that King James, King Charles, all these supposed kings, all right, even the one that wrote the Bible, all these people were so-called black people.
These are what they call Swahili or Tony.
Yes.
Swahili or Tony. Swahili means black.
Okay.
And Tony means tan or brown skin. Same phrase that you guys are using to describe brown or golden skinned people or tan people. But the ancient descriptions of the Scottish kings are these were Swahili or black people.
Okay.
And we got images. In fact, there's an image on one of the original charters, the Rhode Island charter of King Charles II, and he is a black man on the picture with an afro. But again, these documents never make it into the government-sponsored school system. Also, I'm going to reiterate that William Penn gives an eyewitness account, and he gives a description of the Native Indians in America, and he said that these people were Swahili or black people. And one last thing I failed to mention, Benjamin Franklin does say, 1747, called America is a Land of Opportunity. He said all of America was Swahili. Swahili in medieval language is black.
Yes.
He describes the American Indians as being a black people.
Okay, I appreciate that. So, and then you also said that in the original 13 charters, that's where all that information is, and they're not teaching that to people.
If you go pick up one of the charters and get to read, you got to read the king's. When the king was given the mandate, King James, King Charles I, King Charles II, and King George I, when they give the mandate for the charters, they describe their intentions with the indigenous people. So what does that tell you? If they mention the indigenous people in the charters, they were already here. Okay.
All right. So that point is well noted. So let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask this question, right? So do you believe that, well, we already answered that question, that all so-called dark skin or black people did not come from Africa. Life didn't originate in Africa. So that's already an established fact, right?
That was the scam, right? That was part of the scam. The idea was to divert your attention from the fact that the so-called, now let's work on something. In antiquity, ancient time, the word Negro or Negrito, it simply meant black. There was an ancient word for black. It had no negative connotations at that time. The word Negro doesn't take on a negative connotation to around 1900. Okay. 1850, 1900. Prior to that, you go all the way back to the Septuagint and the Latin Vulgate. The word Negro or Negrito simply means black. Okay. And so I'm saying that for a reason. Okay. King James, King Charles I, King Charles II, King George, the German Hanover king, these were all men of color. And these are historical facts that the Gentiles or the Europeans don't. But these Anglo-Saxons, they control the government-sponsored classrooms or the school systems. True. So if I control the school system, I control the data or the information that's filtered down to your children. Facts. So here we are today, right? And this is crucial because all right, so we were already here and they called us the Indians. Now let me ask you, do you know where that word Indian came from, and should the American Aborigine? All right, see, we were already here, yes, and that's already established, and I've been teaching that to our people for a while, right? But they classified us as Indians, right? Well, all that means is indigenous.
Oh, so all Indian means indigenous.
All Indian means is indigenous. That means that these people, they're from here. So they, instead of saying, using the word indigenous, they just said Indian.
Oh, okay. I honestly, you know what?
That's all it is. So guess what that means? That means if I was born in the land, if I came to the land as a colonist, and I was born in the land, that would make me a what? That would make me an Indian. I'm indigenous.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't mean that I'm an American. It simply means that I'm a foreigner that was born in the land. Anybody can be an Indian, but anybody can't be the original.
And that's exactly what I am telling the people.
That's what's taking place in our society today. You got Germans in America, you got Africans, you got Spaniards, Italians. They're born in the land, so they're indigenous, but they're not the original Indian. And that's what they're trying to do. Right. These Europeans are trying to pawn themselves off as the original people. So they came up with this concept called the red man. Yes. No, he was not a red man. He was brown skinned. He was tan, or he was jet black. Right. It's just the way it is.
Okay. I get that. So in the light of that, right? Do you think we are doing ourselves? We are being ingenuous to ourselves by calling ourselves Indians.
I don't understand. Can you repeat the question?
All right, so let me just rephrase that, right? Most of us identify ourselves as American Indians. Do you think we are doing ourselves a disservice by calling ourselves Indians, because anybody could be an Indian?
I think the phrase always should simply be the people of the land.
All right, so just pretty much the first people.
The people of the land, right? I mean, you can trace your lineage. See, this is the issue, and this is the stickler. You can trace your lineage back to the skeletons.
Yes.
1650, 1500, 1300. You can trace your DNA back to the skeletons that they still have. Yeah. The Gentiles or these white Indians that's in the land today, they can't do that. They can only pick the bloodline up from the Trail of Tears or from the genocide of the indigenous people that once lived here, the people of color. Okay. So what they've done is they've done the same thing that they've done to the Jews. They came in, committed genocide, and went into the land, and now they have assumed the original Indian's identity. They took his land the whole night. What was that senator's name? White girl. Who told everybody she was an Indian.
Warren.
And Trump told me, he said, no, you don't look like any Indian that I've ever seen.
Right. Warren.
Warren tried that. She tried that. Right. So what I'm simply saying is this is a technique that they have. They go into a country, they clear the country out from its natural inhabitants, then they go in and assume his identity.
Okay,
this is what's taking place in America. The white Indian, there's no such thing as a white Indian.
Right.
It is impossible.
Right. Okay, beautiful.
Unless he's a leper. Now, if he's a leper, I can see that. You know, where he turned white all over. Right. But if he's not a leper, he doesn't have leprosy or what they call an albino, it's impossible to have a white Indian.
Right. I agree. All right. So.
And that's not racism. These are just simply genetic facts.
Okay, cool. All right. So let me just because I have to process this a little bit. And for guys, once again, I just want to thank brother Lee Cummings for coming on. Please support the super chat, because I want to bring information that's authentic, or information that's true, and I want this platform to be, again, just about the truth. And the brother is dropping some knowledge. You know what I mean? So let me ask you this, brother, right? Okay, so when we kind of like go back a little bit, we know that King James and all the likes, you know what I'm saying, that brought the Bible here and everything, they were actually they were dark-skinned people. Now in the Americas, based on what you are telling me, is that we didn't have Christianity or any type of those current religions that they have running around right here. We didn't have that.
Well, we don't. I want you guys, if you guys can hear me, I want you guys to consider what I'm about to say. Okay. When you used to watch TV as a child, and they would bring the Indians on, the Indians would be singing a song. They would be chanting. They'd be chanting what? Hey y'all, oh y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. How did they know Yahweh's name? Unless they were what? Unless they were Hebrew Israelites, the Indians, they knew the truth. Because when they chanted those songs, we didn't realize they was called on the name of Yah. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. I've kind of like, wrestled, with that concept, before. But and I just thought.
And if you look at some of the art, the images, when you look at the Indians on TV, what did they have on? They had fringes all over their garments.
Right.
The Indians were the original people of God, man.
Yeah, and I know that for sure. Yeah, definitely. So okay, so that's an interesting fact that you mentioned, right? The brother he just said that the Indians are the original people of God, right? So with that being said, right, where would you say? So what you're saying? Everybody on Earth were Indians, or well, I guess if we're looking at the word indigenous.
What I'm basically saying is this: if you go back and look at the historical record, there is indeed a historical record.
Okay.
When you begin to trace the footsteps of this man who calls himself a white man. Now, this white man in America tells you that he's a Caucasian, that he comes from the Caucasus Mountains. It is impossible that he can come from the Caucasus Mountains because Professor Boyd Dawkins, who wrote, he was a white Gentile historian and anthropologist. He wrote around 1800, 1858. He said that the whites that invaded England came from north of Germany, from the southern shores of the Baltic Seas. So the first thing we find out is they are not from the Caucasus Mountains because the Caucasus Mountains run through Russia. And these are not Russians that are dominating, that are governing us right now. You understand?
They're Germans.
Right. They ain't from the Caucasus Mountains, because if they was from the Caucasus Mountains, they would act like what? This modern Russia.
Right.
That's the first lie, because that's Gog and Magog. The second lie they tell is, well, the first lie being that they're from the Caucasus Mountains. So then the question now is, where are they from? Well, they found the oldest white mummies down in Turin, Zhang, China, which is down in Central Asia. So what are we looking at? One group came up from Central Asia, and another group came out of Northern Germany.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's what we're looking at.
Right.
And so these people, which are the Anglos and the Saxons, these are the Gentiles or these Europeans that are spread out all over the world, causing all this hell.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's great information. So, and which brings me to this question right here, right? I don't debate, right, brother, but I like to build. And one thing for me on this platform, if anybody, whether it may be a brother or a sister, coming with a different view, I try to respect it or humbly disagree, right? So I'm going to ask you a question about seeing that, yes, we were already here. We are the Indians, the original Indians, the indigenous people of the land. What about the claim that that when did the Moors come here, or have they always been here? And
now let's look at the word.
Yeah.
Now, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
And I've heard two sides. Now, the brothers, that the Moors keep saying, okay, we were here.
Right.
Well, the Moor doesn't understand that the word Moor, what does the word Moor mean? No, it simply means black, or what you guys call colored or tan. So a Moor is nothing but what? He's just a man of color or a black man. So they technically, if a man says, well, the Moors, we was already here. Okay, so he's really saying the Indians was already here.
Okay. All right.
It's semantics.
Yes.
It's a play on words.
Yes.
If one guy calls himself an Indian, and the other guy calls himself a Moor. They're one and the same.
Okay, and you know what? I totally agree with you from that concept. You know why? Because I keep telling Moors that if you're going to use the word Moor from the context of complexion, then yes, you are actually an Indian calling yourself a Moor. You see what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Where I kind of draw the line is where they are saying that, America is Africa. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a whole bunch of confusion. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, Moors from the perspective that they're looking at the word Moor, they're North Africans.
Well, but this is the thing. See, you have a place called, if you visualize this, and some of the guys might have a map up, but if you can visualize this, if you can see the Mediterranean in your map, south of the Mediterranean is Europe.
Yeah.
North of the Mediterranean that runs along the coast of Libya, Egypt, going toward the Atlantic Ocean, right? So then you see Mauritania. So what was Mauritania? Mauritania is really what was Moor.
Yes.
So the cat says that he's from Northern Africa. He's a Moor. Well, all Moors came from Africa, including the Hebrew Israelite. Was he not a Moor? Yes, he was. He was black.
Right. Okay. So really, it's really semantics and a wordplay, because
it's just a play on words.
Play on words. Okay.
Play on words. I don't know if you guys remember when one of the senators called President Trump a moron. Y'all remember that?
No.
They called him a moron. He was upset. Him and his whole cabinet. Why were they upset? Because moron is derived from what?
More.
Or moron.
Okay, moron. Yeah.
So they was so the sleight of hand was they was calling him a Negro.
Wow, that's interesting. So with that being said, right? So it's assumed it's safe to assume that the real Moors know they're Indians, but for some reason
we're Indians. Some of these brothers, they tapped into their past. They don't realize when they call themselves a Moor, they're talking about the original Indian.
Okay, and that's why Noble Drew Ali, even if he called himself a Moor, he had to claim his nationality as Cherokee, because
a Moor is not a. See, that's the thing that they have to understand. A Moor is not a species.
Right.
It's not a species, nor is it a nationality. It's a verb. I mean, it's an adjective.
Exactly. And then seeing that Moors,
you could take the same word Moor, set it next to the word nigger, set it next to the word Negro, and you have the same definition, black.
Yes, and that's where I'm having, an issue with that, because Moors are very big on etymology. So if you are very big on etymology, then why they are pushing for people to call themselves Moors, but yes, still Moor is not a nationality, and Moor is not an identity. It's not a noun. It's a verb. It describes a noun.
No, it's an adjective.
It's an adjective. Adjective, yeah, it's an adjective, yeah, that describes a noun, right? So in essence, and that's why Noble Drew Ali, even if he called himself a Moor in terms of complexion.
You talking about the guy that was the god of the Muslims?
Yeah, the guy that founded the Moorish Temple of America, their prophet. They call him their prophet.
That's what I mean, man. Yeah. I had this same conversation at a graduation with a old gray-headed Moor. And so he went through his little routine. I tried to open up his understanding. All it means, you guys are not it's just like people think that the white race is white people are another race of people. No, they're not. They're lepers. They're lepers. I think the 11th chapter of Leviticus. Next time you bring me on, I have my Bible with me. I can read it to you.
Okay.
The book says that if a person has leprosy, if he turns white all over from his head to his feet, then he's clean. He's a leper.
Right.
They're not another race of people. They came out of us.
Right. Exactly.
Okay? Every once in a while, in this generation, they call them albinos.
Yes.
In ancient times, they were called lepers.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So they came out of us. How do I know that? The whites possess a gene called the white gene. As long as they live amongst each other and they keep procreating with each other, they keep passing the gene to each other. But the moment they procreate or interact with one of us, and they have a child by one of us, that child gets what? It gains melanin. But as long as they practice racism and isolation, they pass the white gene back and forth to each other. Then you got a group of white people, what we call lepers. That's all they are, man.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, how about what the notion that a lot of people, even in the chat, that claim, well, for one, and that's just my perspective, and tell me if I'm incorrect here, right? I tell people, for one, I personally don't believe that the entire earth was called Africa, number one. And I don't believe that America is North Africa. That's number two. So can you clarify that for our platform, please, if you don't mind?
Well, this is the issue, man. The entire earth was never called Africa, because see, that's another lie that's being taught in the government-sponsored school system. That Africa, all life started in Africa. It didn't.
Right.
All life started in Mesopotamia. That's why it's called the cradle of civilization.
Right.
And then the oldest history book, history book that we have right now is what they call the Holy Scriptures. And it describes Adam being situated near the Tigris and Euphrates River. That is not Africa. Now, I ain't got no problem with this concept that the black Mesopotamians walked down into Africa. And that's where they found the oldest bones. People migrate every day.
Right, true.
But the original name that you one of the most ancient names is Mesopotamia.
Okay, so
and you have another ancient name, Egypt, but Egypt's ancient name was not America.
Exactly.
Egypt's ancient name, Africa's ancient name was Libya. There's a map that dates back to 500 BC by Hecataeus or Socrates. Not Socrates, Hecataeus. It dates 500 BC. It lists 3 continents: Europe, Libya, and Asia. When you go down and read the 2nd chapter of Acts in the King James Version of the Bible, when Peter's given the world order in his generation, he mentions Libya. Libya was the ancient name of Africa. So these Moors, even though there's some sharp brothers, they're very intelligent. They gotta do a better job of research.
So Africa's oldest name was actually Libya.
Was Libya. There's a map. One of the guys that's on the line right now, tell them to Google and pull up Hecataeus world map. I think it's 500 BC. 500 BC. There were only three continents known to man at that time. If you read the 2nd chapter of Acts, Peter lists the 3 continents. He talks about Asia. He talks about how the Romans came down. The Creations came down, which they came out of Greece or Greece. And then he talks about Libya. And those are the only 3 African continents that was known to man at that time. And that was actually in 29 AD.
Okay.
So we got maps of 500 BC that only show 3 continents. In fact, the name Africa came from an Italian general by the name of Sicilia Africanus. When he defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Carthage, they started calling Carthage Africa after this Italian general. That is how the name came about. They learned, man.
Right. Okay, so now, which brings me to this question I'm about to ask. So Mesopotamia, where was is America considered to be Mesopotamia?
No, man, Mesopotamia has and always will be by Iran and Iraq. That is ancient Mesopotamia.
Okay.
Well, let me hold on for a second.
All right.
Okay. The Euphrates runs to like ancient Babylon, ancient Sumer, and that was the old location. So as long it can't be America. America is in the north. Okay. North America by the Atlantic Ocean. The Lord makes no mention of the Atlantic.
Right.
He only talks about the Persian Gulf, the Tigris and the Euphrates River. That is Mesopotamia. You have Asia. Asia is to the right of Mesopotamia. There was a time when Arabia and Jerusalem was considered part of Africa. But I'm gonna say something to you, man. There was no mention of America in the ancient manuscripts. Okay.
So does that mean it didn't exist, or they just didn't know about it?
But the people had not migrated there yet.
Oh, okay. Man, listen.
Because remember, the migration of human beings doesn't take place to the 11th chapter of Genesis, when the Lord scattered man at the Tower of Babel.
Oh, okay.
And that, if you want to put a timeline on that, you look at about 2385 BC. And at that time, you only from the time of the flood to 2385 BC, you look at that maybe about 100 years, 120 years that elapsed since the flood. How many men could it have been in 100 years?
Right.
If you believe the flood story.
Wow. Man, listen, I mean, like I tell people every day, brother, you know me, I'm a master student. I know a lot, but I don't know anything, and that's what I tell people because...
And we all don't.
Yeah.
Man. We all still, man, even the scholars are still learning.
So again, just to clarify what you were saying, and then you have the scholarly research and documents to verify everything you're saying. You're saying that at some point, there were only 3 major continents. It was
only 3 continents listed in the world.
It was Libya.
3 continents that man knew of.
That man knew of.
3 continents: Libya, Europe, and Asia.
All right. So let me just reiterate that to the audience, just in case you might be a little fainted on the bill. So the brother is saying that on historical documents and facts that he could prove that at some point, you know, there were only 3 continents known to man: Asia, Libya, and what's the other one?
Asia, Libya, and Europe.
Asia, Libya, and Europe. And at that time, Libya was considered to be Africa. Now he's saying that America was in existence. The only thing is they hadn't migrated into our part of the world. So that's why they have known about us, but we have always been on this landmass. And you know what, brother? That is what resonates with my spirit.
You might want to reiterate this.
Yeah.
You got to remember, mankind doesn't get started until after the flood, and that was at the Tower of Babel.
Okay.
And that doesn't take place until about 2385 BC.
Okay. So
the landmass was in existence. Man just had not made it there yet. And the original people on this earth were black people. I don't care. You could dig in earth in Mesopotamia. The oldest skeletons they find it, black people.
Okay.
You go down into the tombs of the pharaohs in Egypt, all over the walls of Egypt, black people in the pharaohs. You go down to Asia, the Kid or the Khan dynasty.
Okay.
Black people.
Right.
The terracotta soldiers, or Okada soldiers, or China, black. In Europe, the oldest skeleton that was found was Jamaldi man, black. I don't care where you dig in this earth, we was there first.
Okay. So the audience is asking, is there any way you could give them some of the sources that they could find some of that research?
Take specific questions, like specifically, what do they want to?
Okay, Aaliyah, he mentioned a few things, so he wants to know like what source you want from what is the specific question?
From what statement?
From what statement would you like to know the source, so he could give that information. But while they're asking the question, while they're putting that in the chat, let me ask you real quick, right? Right now, there's an energy on Turtle Island, America, what we call America, that our people are waking up to the fact that we have always been here and we are the original people, right? So what advice would you give us as a people that's finding ourselves, finding our place, finally having an opportunity to let the world hear our story and not his story? What would you what advice would you have for us?
This is the thing.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with a devil like this Anglo-Saxon, you have to go into overkill with your evidence. You can't just show up with 5 pieces of evidence, even though it could be 5 of the best pieces of evidence that you can find. You got to show up with the kind of evidence that'll make your enemy blush.
Right.
That is my
okay.
That is the best thing that's the best thing that I can leave you with today.
Okay.
It is you don't want the government sponsored evidence. You want eyewitness accounts. Who was on the scene? Who actually saw the original Indian? You might want to look this up. William Penn. William Penn gives a testimony that they was black.
Right.
Benjamin Franklin. And they're gonna believe Benjamin Franklin. He's like one of these super European heroes.
Right.
Benjamin Franklin describes him as being a black people. Thomas Jefferson describes him as being a black people.
Okay.
And so does the kings of Scotland. So these white folk in America have been knowing. That's why they came up with this thing called the Smithsonian.
Okay.
The Smithsonian is the biggest fraud in America.
Yeah.
It's designed for one thing. To take the original artifacts of people of color, paint them white, and put them in the damn museum. Okay.
All right. So somebody's the sister's asking the information she wants to research is regarding the existence of the 3 continents, and are you solely
tell her to Google. All right, the first thing, the 3 continents, tell her to Google Herodotus world map.
He said to Google Herodotus world map.
That's you spell it
Herodotus. Herodotus.
No, Herod as in dog. O T as in Tom. U.S.
All right. So Herodotus world map. He said
map. She pulls up Herodotus world map, so she should Google it right now while we're talking. She'll see there's only 3 continents, and this map dates back to the 4th or the 5th century BC. All
right. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do, brother. While I'm on with you, I'm just going to Google that myself, and I can share it with them. All right.
Okay. Okay. All right. Screenshot.
Yeah. I'm gonna share the screen, and we're gonna do that, and then we're just gonna share. So it's
and then we can do that for all the questions that they have.
All right.
I got time.
So it's HERODO T
US.
US.
OOS. We'll pull it up and pull up the world map.
World map. All right, cool. I'm pulling that up right now, and then once I get that, I will share that with them. Let me go to images. All right, cool. Photograph of the world map. Let me see. So yeah, something is come. Hold up. Herodotus world. All right, so it's coming up. Images of Herodotus world map. Let me see. All right, so guys, I'm gonna share my screen. Let me see if that comes up for you guys. All right. Okay. All right, I'm gonna share my screen, brother. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but they will be able to see it. So just to verify, you know what you're talking about. All right, so family, this is the map right there that the brother said to check out, and the brother is actually speaking some truth. Herodotus world map, 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Libya. And now,
and so the ancient age. Now that look at the date. Now what's critical is not the map itself. What's critical is the date.
Okay.
That's almost 500 years, man. That's 500 BC.
Yeah. So he said the map is good, but what's crucial is the date. It's about 500 BC.
That's 500 BC. There's no mention of America.
Right. There's no mention of America. No, what he's saying is not that America didn't exist. What he's saying that people only migrated after the flood. So that's when they didn't
start migrating. So they were still in the process of populating the earth.
Yes, they were still in the process of populating the earth.
The whole world being named America at that time is insane.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So let me just reiterate what the brother said. He said that at that time, okay, there was only Europe, Libya, and Asia, right? It doesn't mean that America didn't exist. What he said was that they hadn't migrated to that side of the world just yet.
They were still, it could have been some people there, but they were still migrating.
Yeah, right. So he's saying that, you know what, people were still migrating, but it doesn't mean that people was not on the side of this of the earth or the world, rather. Okay.
Right. They could have.
Right. Okay. So that all right. So
what's the next one?
Yeah. He wants to know what is the next question? Because somebody wanted to know if you were only getting your your information, from a biblical perspective, but obviously you're showing the map to kind of like,
Tell them we have eyewitness accounts.
Yeah, and
which means we're not taking. See, one thing about the Europeans, they will allow history into the classroom. They will not allow the eyewitness account into the classroom. And I have the eyewitness account.
Okay.
I had a guy, if it was 500 BC, I got the guy that was there in 500 BC.
Right.
If it was an eyewitness, if it was a European that said that the Indians were brown skin or black people, I got the eyewitness account from his memoirs where he actually said that out of his own mouth. This is greater than the historical record.
Right. But
again, they will not allow the eyewitness into the classroom.
Okay. Well, once again, let me just clarify this for the platform. He's not saying that there wasn't people on the American continent. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that it's just that America weren't, discovered just yet. He's not saying that we weren't here.
If you look at the map, it's not even shown on the map.
It's not shown on the map because they didn't know that part of the world existed. That's all the brother is saying.
They were still migrating.
Right. All right. He's saying that these people from Asia, Europe, and Libya, they were still migrating. So they hadn't ran into the Indians just yet. All right. So guys.
So it doesn't mean they weren't there. It doesn't mean they were not on the map at that time.
Exactly. He's not saying that we were not here. All he's just saying is that based on their drawings, we were not on the map at that time. All right. So I mean, again, I tell people, believe what you feel you need to believe. I'm just dropping the information. Do your research. I'm not here to tell you this is, you know, the holy gospel. I'm not saying that. All I'm just saying is what the brother is saying. It has resonated with my spirit for a very long time, and I just wanted to clarify and bring information. All right. Also, he said that if you go get the original 13 charters, okay, it will definitely show and prove that we were already here. So he's saying that
if you look at the 1609 charter, when King James establishes Plymouth in Massachusetts, well, when you look at the charter, he gives instructions on how to deal with the indigenous people.
Right.
And it was never enslavement. It was simply it was a barter system. They were bringing the gospel, and that is what they were doing. They purchased land. But one thing about King James, King Charles, and George I, they never mentioned slavery.
Right.
They always mentioned, hey, a fifth. Anything that came out of the ground, a fifth of the oil, a fifth of the gold, a fifth of the silver, a fifth of the silver had to go back to England and Scotland, but they never mentioned sending money from the slave trade. That is a lie. Okay.
All right. So just to reiterate, all right, he's saying that, all right, if we go back to the 1609 charter, all right, there's no mention of, you know, the people of the slaves coming here and getting money from a slave trade. He said that's a lie. Am I correct?
Yeah. King James, you don't have, see, in order to understand what I'm talking about, you got to go back and look at the Magna Carta.
Okay.
And then you got to go back and look at the Cartwright case. The Magna Carta, if you read the Magna Carta, you'll see that England did not recognize the institution of slavery. Now that's around 16. That's like 1600. The Cartwright case is something like 1550, where England tried a case of a slave, and they stated that they did not recognize the institution of slavery.
Right.
Slavery was illegal in England. This is the reason why the 13 colonies, or the northern colonies, were free.
Right.
See, this is what people don't understand. I'm gonna make this brief. Who owned the southern? You got some sharp people. Who owned the southern slave states?
Okay. Do any of you guys know who owned the southern slave states? And that's a question I'm asking in the chat. Anybody in the chat know who owned the southern slave states?
Southern slave states.
I mean, can anybody answer that in the chat? Anybody know who owned the southern slave states? All right, come on, guys. Y'all got to be quick with the answer. If y'all know, if y'all don't know, it's all good. You know what I mean? He said, a few people said the French. Who owned
Who said that?
Aaliyah said the French.
Tell her she's right.
Aaliyah, you are correct.
Aaliyah, because she's so sharp, we don't stick with her for a minute. Ask Aaliyah, what year did the British purchase the Louisiana Purchase?
Now, the next question is, what year did the British purchase the Louisiana Purchase?
Right.
Does anybody know what year the British purchased the Louisiana Purchase? Anybody knows?
This nigga.
Okay, nobody has given me an answer yet.
The answer is 1803.
The answer is 1803. So
that's what that means.
Yeah.
That means that the British did. That means that Alabama, Arkansas, Texas, Mississippi, St. Louis, Louisiana, all slave states belong to who? They belong to the French. And ain't nobody see this is how bad the education is in the United States. The British were not involved in the slave trade. The British purchased the slave states in 1803. Then they purchased Florida in 1763. The institution of slavery was on the landmass when they purchased it. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is the reason why the North was free. The North was free, why? Because the British did not recognize slavery.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. So, because a lot of people, even me, I'm going to be honest, I was under, the impression that you know, it was the British that was, you know, running the whole slave trade.
Selling in the United States. I don't know why these white historians, what they basically have done is this. Because they don't want nobody to know about the free Negroes or the free blacks or the free brown-skinned people or the free indigenous people. What they've done is they've taken the history of two blacks, the enslaved black out of West Africa and the free black that was in the North. They've merged the history together and they've done away with the history of the free black man. See, so the brothers that was in the North, the brothers that was in the North, they come up, well, all these black folk ran to the North, escaping slavery. Man, do you realize how ridiculous that sounds?
Right.
There were over 2 million free Negroes in the North. You trying to tell me 2 million brothers escaped the South?
Right.
250,000 fought in the American Revolution. I mean, the American Civil War. Where did they go? When the war was over, they went back home. You got 250,000 black soldiers that fought in the Civil War. If each one of them had a wife and 5 kids, you got over 2 million people. So where did the brothers go when the war was over? They went back home. This is the reason why you got some black folk running around right now. The last name is Freeman. What does that mean? Because he was always free.
Right. So somebody's asking, didn't the British own slaves in the Northeast?
No, tell them because slavery was illegal in the North. They had something called. That's the reason why you had indentured servants.
Okay.
See, there was no slavery in the North. There was indentured servitude because it was illegal to enslave them there.
Okay, so to answer your question, guys, no, there was no slavery in the North. There was what's called indentured servitude because it was illegal to own slaves.
In the North, in the North, the 13 British colonies.
In the 13 British colonies.
Because the French colonies, the slave states belonged to who? To the French all the way up to 1803. What does that mean, man?
Right.
That simply means that the British only owned the southern slave states for 62 years before the Emancipation Proclamation. It's all a lie.
Wow. That's interesting. All right, so well, you know what, man? I know you have a series of books that that is could you tell us about your books and how the audience could get to maybe your website and check out some of your information
that we're talking about today? Like if you really want to know about the black colonies, the black Indians, or what you guys call the brown skinned Indians. You can, 2 of the books that I got, it's a 7-book series, but 2 of these books deal specifically with this conversation.
Okay.
The Negro Question Part 6 is called the Negro Question Part 6, the 13 Black Colonies. That deals with this whole conversation we have.
Okay.
And then the Negro Question Part 7 called the Swarthy Memoirs. Of a Black American Revolution. So Part 6 and Part 7 of the Negro Question book series, it has all the research, all the eyewitness accounts, all the original untampered artifacts. That is what you want to get. Okay.
All right. So guys, the brother is saying that, of course, he has his book series, right? And it's called the Negro Question, right? So part 6 and 7 is where we could get all that information, all the research. He given all the resources, all the original artifacts. That's what we need so that we could actually use that.
And this, make sure you mention this. This is real critical.
Yeah.
Eyewitness account.
And an eyewitness account is in that book as well. So
whoever was there on the scene, I got his testimony.
And yeah, so whoever was there at that time on the scene, he got their testimony in his book in part 6 and 7. And
these are men of honor. William Penn, the founder of Pennsylvania. William Penn, our witness account is that the Indians were black people.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin, a so-called man of honor. 1751. All of America was Swarthy or black.
Okay.
So these are the testimonies of some great, what they call great Americans. And these Gentiles. They're not going to refute anything that these guys said.
So, do you have a website, brother, that the platform could check out?
I've been so busy my books. I got to get my website back up, but I've been so busy. Like what I just finished, like I told you earlier, I just finished translating part 2 into Spanish. So what I'm in the process of doing now is I'm translating the books into Spanish and in French.
Okay.
So that's the new project.
So at this time, your website is not up just yet. So
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call on Monday and I'll get this thing back up and running, but it's been down. But I've been so immersed in what I'm doing, I didn't even know it was down.
Okay. All right. So all right. So guys, the brother said that he didn't even realize his website is not functioning right now because he's been so busy translating the book in books in French and Spanish. But he's gonna give me a call on Monday and make sure he has information for me. So the book series is called The Negro Question, and I'm actually I'm talking to the author right now, Lee Cummings, and I'll tell you how I actually ran across the brother. One day I was doing some meditation and I was just seeking some information, and I went on Google, and his name was the first one that popped up. So brother, I'm not sure if anybody. Let me see. I'm just curious to know what does. So he did say who he identified himself as. So brother, are you an Indian, or what do you consider yourself?
I just, man, me and my people, we Israel, we the Hebrew Israelites, man. They came into captivity. Okay. We're a guest in your land. Okay, and so that's how we see ourselves. We're guests.
Okay. So the brother is he and his group identify as Hebrew Israelites, and he says that they are guests in our home. Okay. They are guests in our home. They were brought here into captivity.
We're guests, man. We're not like these other people. We're well aware that we're guests.
So he said they are not spreading the untruth like other groups. You know what I mean? They are aware that they are actually a guest in our home.
So we're Israel. We came here. We came here by word of prophecy. We know who we are.
Yeah. So he said that he know who they are. They came here by word of prophecy, and that they are actually a guest in our home. And like that's something I've been telling people for the longest. And you have a brother who is telling the truth about that. So I'm cool with that. All right. Guys, do you have any more questions for the brother before he go? Because I know he's a little bit busy. But if you have any questions, let me know, and we could ask him. But in the meantime, this is great information, brother, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
There's another, tell the class that there's another way that you could test what I'm saying. All you have to do is go back and pull up the Paris Peace Treaty of 1783.
Okay, well, what treaty is that?
Huh?
What treaty is that?
The Paris Peace Treaty of 1783.
You said the Taz?
All you have to do is go in and look and see what state that King George relinquishes, and you'll see that he never mentions the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, all right. So let me rephrase that. Okay, the brother said that go look at, I think is it the Peace Treaty of 1783 when King James when he gives up all authority and sovereignty of the 13 colonies. Okay. And you'll see in that peace treaty that he never mentions any of the southern states. You know why? Because he didn't own them at that time. Okay. Britain didn't own the southern states to what? 1803. So in 1783, when they had the war was not with the southern states. It was with the northern states. Okay. See, this is that bad teaching that we got, because the teaching was so bad, nobody ever considered this.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great information. Somebody wants. Well, there's two questions. Number one.
I got time.
Okay, beautiful. Number one question is, when did they discover Israel, or when did they invent Hebrew?
Tell them Israel was never discovered. Tell them that our fathers invaded Canaan. We came from Mesopotamia. Read the 11th chapter of Genesis. You'll see where Abraham came from Ur, the Chaldeans. That's Mesopotamia. Okay. We went down into Canaan. We went down to Egypt, then we went down into Canaan. Our fathers took the land of Canaan from the Canaanites, which were what you call African people. We got down into we went down into Africa, what they call Africa now, or Libya, we went down there around 2194 BC. We went into Canaan as conquerors. We went down and we left Egypt in 1496. In 1100 BC, Saul became the first king in Canaan. That's when Israel, the nation, was formed around 1100 BC.
Okay.
And what we were called Hebrews, Heber was the first one that was called a Hebrew, and you have to date him real after 2194, about 2100 BC.
Okay.
So Israel was never discovered. We conquered the land. The original name of the land was Salem.
Okay.
And they started calling it Jerusalem.
Okay.
But the original name of the land was Salem.
Okay.
And then you get that, you pick that up when Abraham met Melchizedek, the king of Salem.
Okay.
The 11th chapter, that 12th chapter.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Somebody have a question. How did the Hebrew Israelites get over into the Americas?
There's a map. There was a map that was created in 1747 by Emmanuel Bowen. It shows that the original name of the slave coast was the Kingdom of Judah. I'll tell them, you can see this map on the front cover of the Negro Question Part 2. Now, when the original name of the slave coast was the Kingdom of Judah, which means that when the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, and the Spanish were bringing I call them captives or slaves into the Americas, in the Caribbean, everybody that came into the Americas on slave ships was what? They were Jews, black Jews. And there's a prophecy in the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy that teaches that. Deuteronomy 28 chapter and the 68th verse.
Okay, so in essence, all right, so something just clicked. So in essence, what you were telling me is that the story of Deuteronomy and all that, those were the Israelites or the Hebrews. So those that came here on slave ships, they were Jews.
Right, and they know that. The white man has known that since 1747. In fact, they got a picture in 1858 of one of the British correspondents crossing the Pride River with a high priest, a Levite high priest, with 12 stones on his chest. They've been known since 1858 that we Israel. Everybody knows who I am.
Okay, so let me ask you now, how somebody's asking, somebody said that they're also an Israelite, but how do you know that you're an Israelite? Did you take some type of test? How would you know?
No, I don't need to take a test. Tell him the prophecy points, the prophecies, Deuteronomy 28:64, Deuteronomy 28:68, all those prophecies. Those are just two basic prophecies that point to who we are.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but what I'm saying is, what if somebody say, well, they're Israelite, but they're not a descendant of those people that came here as slaves? So how are you for certain that you are not an Indian and you were a Hebrew that came here? How can you trace that back to a slave ship?
See, now it gets tricky because we've been mingled together, because now you take a bunch of apples, from a different grove and put them in a basket. Nobody knows which grove that it came from. So his question is real simple, but I'm gonna respond like this. There are certain signs that the Lord put on an Israelite. One of them is you'll live and not know. Another sign is that your sons and daughters will be sold into captivity. Another sign is that the stranger in the midst will come into your neighbor, he'll get high, you'll be low, which means you won't even control the economics in your community. Now I understand the question. Is there some sort of test? No, there's no DNA test that you can take. We can't trust the people that's in the land because they control the cemeteries. You understand?
Right.
So we don't know, even after they do the DNA test, what the hell, who did you test?
Right.
Because the white Jew is not Israel. So who did you test?
Right.
Did you go into one of the old ancient graves and do the DNA test on some of the teeth of some of the prophets or the kings of Judah and Israel? We don't know.
Right.
But we know we Israel because the book said that Israel was going to go into captivity on ships, on slave ships, and no man would bow. That's us. Did nobody come into the Americas on slave ships but who? But us.
Yeah, I get that, but I guess, well, my thing is like, I get anybody here that's so-called dark skin or so-called black could just claim, hey, you know what? We all came here on slave ships. So I guess that's why they kind of asking, you know, I mean, like,
we got Hamites, we got what you call an African now, or a Hamite that didn't come here on a slave ship. He just came here.
Okay.
Some of these people that just came into the land, they came in when the ports were open. Now let's talk for a second. Intellectually.
Right.
The ports weren't open to blacks in the very beginning. The ports were open to who? To the barbarian Irishmen. All the barbarians of Europe, they fled the Americans. This is how they took the country, through migration. Now, you know, when the blacks were coming into the Americas at that time because of the racism and the slave trade. So let's do the math. We know as early as late as 1865, no Negro in his right man or black person would migrate here, right or wrong.
True.
Okay, now let's look at 1900. They still wouldn't migrate here because of the harshness of this captivity. We can go as far back as 1965, the Martin Luther King. So all we're doing right now is walking down the timeline. But if I seem illogical, let me know. So there was not really a real heavy black Negro migration to the United States until when? Recently.
Right.
So I would say 1980.
Okay.
But am I answering the question? No, I'm not. I still not answering the question because I cannot answer that question.
Right.
What I can simply say, we can separate the sons of Israel from the sons of Ham.
Right.
The African don't look nothing like us.
Right.
We have high cheekbones, right? He's got a high cheekbone like the Chinaman because they're related. He's very loud. He's extreme. He's darker than us.
Right.
So the question is, how do you know who's an Israelite and who's not? Well, you should be able to distinguish if somebody's a so-called African American or African.
Right. Right.
Now, that person that asked the question, tell them this. Tell them there's only one test that can determine who Israel is, and tell them that's the sickle cell trait.
Okay, so there's
only two people on the planet that possess the sickle cell trait. That's the so-called African American and the Edomite in Jerusalem. That's Esau and Jacob. Did they hear me?
Right. So
did that person hear me?
Yeah, he's asking, did you guys hear him? In terms of the sickle cell trait.
The sickle cell trait.
Yeah.
Now, only two people possess that trait. Esau and Jacob.
Okay. And he said that only two people possess the sickle cell trait, and that's Esau and Jacob.
Ask him, does he know that?
So do you guys are you guys aware of that, or is that the first time that you guys are hearing that information? I've never heard that before. So,
yeah, it's only two people on the earth that possess sickle cell trait. And if you tell that person that asked a question, if you walk up to any European Jew and made that and said, hey, me and you are the only two people on this earth that can possess the sickle cell trait, that Edomite is going to tell him he knows that.
All right, so he's saying that
the sickle cell trait is what? They told us, we were taught that it was some sort of blood disease. No, the creator joined Jacob and Esau at the hip genetically through the sickle cell trait.
Okay. So that whole concept of Esau and Jacob, one being a so-called white man and one being a so-called dark man.
Well, the one that's in the land right now is not Esau because he don't look like us. Okay. The one that's in the land right now is a Turk. He's a leftover from the Ottoman Turk Empire. All those white Arabs that's in Arabia today are Turks. They are not Arabians.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
the conversation's getting real interesting, ain't it?
Right. Well, the only thing is, well, what you could do, American Indian Truth 1492, if you could let me know the question, I could relate to him because he's not actually on the bill, he's actually on the speakerphone, all right, that we are going through. So if you have a question, you could always let me know and I could relay the question. You know, and
so I got a few more minutes.
Yeah, he got a few more minutes. So let us talk a little bit about more because I really want to literally I want to stay on focus right now because my main focus is this right now. It's about, you know, the original people that was here and how we were misplaced and the way we are being treated right now. You know what I'm saying? So
well, the Lord describes the creator describes, he gives a description. He doesn't call them Americans, he calls them the Isles of the Sea. So America, they're mentioned in prophecy as the Isles of the Sea. And you just have to think about it. What is America? And it's all the nations, a big rock surrounded by water. So the Lord called them Isles of the Sea, or Islands of the Sea.
Well, okay. So that name, America. I mean, I know we have heard people say that, or in reading or study, that name America came from Vespucci, right? Personally, I think he actually took the name and called himself that after the name had already existed. But where do you think that name came from?
Well, that's what the Gentiles teach in the government-sponsored school system. But this is the issue, though. It doesn't really matter where the name came from.
Right.
The people. What's important is that there was a people here before they got here.
Right.
And even though they are great liars, these Europeans, they admit one thing in their history books, that when they came into the land, there was some people already here. They admit that.
Right.
Don't they? I don't care what history book you pick up there, they admit what? They talk about they almost starved that one winter, and if it wasn't for the indigenous people, they would have died. Remember that? Right. So they admit what? They admit themselves that there was a people in America when they got here, on this land map.
So it's more about the people opposed to the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even focus on that.
I agree with that. Okay. So here's a question. Somebody's saying that, and how is on the question, how is Deuteronomy 28:68 true? And how were the Israelites when the transatlantic slave trade was a hoax?
Say the second part again.
The person is indicating that based on study and research, because we haven't seen any proof or artifacts of a ship, right? So the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade is a hoax. So how can Deuteronomy 28:68 be true?
Well, that's a pretty good question. But you have to tell a brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm certainly sure they could hear you. If not, I'll just read it.
Okay, tell a brother, listen.
Yeah.
Now the history that comes out of the West, that comes out of the southern states, brings the West African slave or the Kingdom of Judah into the southern states. Now that's the history that comes out of the West. But the history that comes out of the northern, the 13 British colonies, we have ships manifest that show that these are black Jacobites or black Jews came into the 13 colonies as indentured servants, and that the other people that came before them, when they came in, your people, they were black. They were original black colonists. They were black Jews.
Okay.
So to answer the question in an intelligent manner is, even if I didn't have the proof that the brothers in the southern states came by way of slave ship, I got ships manifest, eyewitness accounts, and a former Secret Service agent eyewitness account that these black Jacobites or black Jews came into the Americas.
Okay, so let me just reiterate that. The brother said, to answer your question, right? He has proof and he has the manifest that, okay?
Manifest. That gives an eyewitness description that black Jacobites are coming into the 13 colonies.
That give an eyewitness account of this so-called black Jacobites that came into the 13 colonies. So he has the manifest.
I got the proof.
He got the proof of that.
And you know what? Next time what we can do is, I'll make sure I'm there on a computer. Yeah. And we could do I can come on and you could do a visual. Okay. And I can show the evidence.
Okay. And he said that, you know what, he's willing to do a part 2 of this, and we'll be able to share screen, and then he will show and share the evidence of what he's speaking. Yeah.
And so give him, tell him, even if I cannot, tell him I have no problem with his statement, because I've heard the question that was raised, where the slave ships, and I'm that kind of guy. Because when I heard the question that was raised on the internet, I said to myself, they got a damn good point. Where are the slave ships? Right. And not only where are the ships manifest coming out of the southern states. I've never seen one. Right. So I don't have a problem with The Bible says, "Come and let us reason together."
Right.
I'm a reasonable man. I can be reasoned with.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're building right now. And I
Right,
appreciate
no
that.
problem with that,
Yeah.
what that brother just said, because it's legitimate.
Right.
But tell him, on the other hand, I do have the evidence of the black Jews or the black Jacobites being the original colonists and coming into the land on ships and being described.
Okay. All right. So you hear that? Another question is, aren't the black Jacobites Europeans?
No. Tell him Jacob is the Hebrew word, and all that. Jacob was the father of the 12 tribes. Okay. And his name was changed to Israel, but his real name was Jacob. So when you hear the word Jacobite, you're talking about a Hebrew. Okay. So the Jacobite he asked, was a Jacobite Egyptian? No, he has aren't the Jacobites black Europeans? No. Tell him the Jacobites said Jacob had his origination in ancient Mesopotamia. That's where he came from. Okay. And then he went down into Canaan. Okay. So his true origination was in the land of Libya, or what you call Canaan or Africa. Okay. And then when Vespasian Caesar destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD, we took over 1 million black Jacobites up into Europe. And this is where King James draws his lineage from. Okay. And some people are saying that, they are actually equating, Jacob to Yakub. Is that true? It's the same word. So it's the same word. It's the same word because you dropped the J. There's the letter J didn't appear in 1600. So yes. Yakub and Jacob is the same. So Yakub and Jacob is the same. And is that correct? The whole story of Yakub, Jacob was the same man that created the Caucasian race. Is that true, or is that just some type of fallacy? The Caucasian race are lepers. And there's no such thing as a Caucasian race. Well, Caucasian, people do not come from the Caucasus Mountains. Right, the lepers. The Caucasus Mountains run through Russia. Yeah. So is Jacob or Yakub the same? We agree that they're the same individual. So would you say that Yakub is responsible for the creation of the lepers? No. All humanity is responsible. Oh, okay. From the four corners of the earth, wherever that albino came from, whether he was in Mesopotamia, he came out of Europe, Asia, right, Africa, we are all responsible because they came from the four corners of the earth. You could find an albino or a leper. Right, they came from us. Right. Worldwide. Right. So what about folks that's saying that there's no proof of 12 tribes of Israel? What would you tell people like that? The only reason that they can't find proof of Israel is because they're using a bad timeline. Okay. They tell them I wrote a book called Joseph of the 12th Dynasty of Egypt. If you go down in the 12th Dynasty of the Pharaohs, Amenhotep, you'll see the granaries with them gathering corn. You go down to the 18th Dynasty, the 18th Dynasty of Egypt, you see Israel all over the walls, building statues, building pyramids, gathering stones, making that's that 18th Dynasty. That 18th Dynasty of Egypt also is a dynasty where all the pharaohs had the last name Moses. This is where Moses got his name from. So tell him the reason they don't have proof of the existence of Israel is because they're digging in the wrong layer of dirt. They got the wrong timeline. Right. Okay, I appreciate that. And once again, guys, for me, I have to respect the brothers, whether you call it religion or his culture. That's what we don't have it. It's not a religion, brother. It's a way of life. So you see, you're not just talking to one of the guys. Right. I hear the Hebrew on the other end, and I salute him. Right. I'm not a regular Hebrew Israelite. I'm a scholar. Right. I read and write 4 different languages. I translate ancient Hebrew. Yeah. Ancient Hebrew manuscripts, stone stills, the whole nine. This is what I do. Right. So the books that I write for camps all around the world. Right. So the different camps are teaching out of my books. Right. Okay, so well, and I respect that. So the brother said that it is not a religion. I mean, it's a way of life. Just like how some people say Islam
is confused to be a religion when it's a way of life for people.
Islam is a Johnny-come-lately religion. It came along around the 6th, 7th century.
Right.
Our life dates all the way back to Abraham, 2194. They came along around 500 AD, 600 AD.
Right.
We're almost 3,000 years older than Islam.
Right.
All religions came from us, brother.
Right.
Hebrewism is, they call it, this generation, they call it Judaism. That's a misnomer. That's one tribe in Israel. So it should have been called Hebrewism. All of the religions came out of us. Christianity and Islam. Christianity came first, then Islam. But Hebrewism of Yeshua or Jesus Christ, it was already in effect. Now they know this.
Right. Okay. And another question, and nobody actually answered that. I'm asking that myself for my personal knowledge, right? I know, well, based on the extensive research that I've done, right? The further back I go, it seems like we on the landmass that's called America, it seemed like we didn't have no type of so-called organized religion. We didn't have that. We just pretty much had a symbiotic relationship with nature, and we saw the Creator in everything around us. So, can you shed some light on that?
Well, one thing I know about the indigenous people from the songs that they sang, they knew about Yahweh.
Okay.
Again, I go all the way back to the chant. Hey Yah, oh Yah, hey Yah, hey Yah, hey Yah. Who is Yah?
Right.
And then the question you have to ask yourself is, how did they know his name?
Right.
Because the Europeans was calling him Jehovah, but these guys was, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Right.
Hey Yah is Hebrew.
Right.
That is the original Hebrew. No vowels in it.
Okay.
Now you gotta ask yourself the question: how is it that your people spoke the original Hebrew, unless they had to be Hebrews?
So now, could it be that they were Hebrews, or they associated with Hebrews and adopted part of that culture?
Look, this is the thing.
Yeah.
There's some things that I can't explain.
Right.
There are a few, but this is the thing that I know to be true. If you're a fervent lover of the truth, and you've been doing your own research for the last 15, 20, 30 years. If you put an African, an Indian, and a so-called African American in a photo, you can pick the African American out the group.
Right.
The African don't look nothing like us.
Right.
Even though he's a black or a brown skinned man, he's a black man. He don't look like the African American. And I've noticed this. If I've done this, I live on the north side of Chicago. Right. I live among Nigerians, people from Ghana, Senegal, the whole nine. And I noticed after a couple of years, it dawned on me, they look nothing like us. Now the white man say in his history books that the white man intermingled with our women. Listen, man, that's a lie, straight from the pit of hell. Right. Then they said this. They said, well, the Negro took the white man's last name. Now, I'm going to show y'all that this is also a lie. The whites that supposedly there was holding our people captive in the South was from France and Spain, right? But the Negro in America has a Scottish last name. His last name is either Scottish or Irish. Did y'all know that? Or German. Yeah, or German, yeah. Now check this out. 96% of all so-called Negroes in America have Scottish last names. Yeah. But the Scots were not involved in the slave trade. You see what's happening here? They're lying again. That's true. So first you said that the Negroes took the last names of the slave masters. Well, the Scots were not slaves. They were not involved. Right. These are the type of things that have to come to light when you put wisdom on the table, bro. So here's a question somebody's asking, right? Because a lot of people, say that, well, even me, myself, I've also said that, and I really didn't want to go there with it. I would rather do that on another bill. But the book said that. What are we doing, guys? Yeah. We're reasoning together. Yeah, there we go. But what I'm saying, nobody's right. We just look at, hey, you take what what you can. And whatever don't work for you, it doesn't work for you.
And
but whatever works for you, we all take something from this conversation.
And that's what I tell everybody. All right. So the question is like, and somebody's asking, well, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, starting to, you know, come to our own realization and saying that the Bible was a book that was just written by man. What is the origin of the Bible, and how is that, you know, people say, you know, and I've even used that term before myself, that a sky daddy, you know what I'm saying, spoke to somebody and wrote, you know, a book. And even me, I've said it, nobody in the Bible had a Bible. So what is the origin of the Bible, and is it something that was made up, you know what I'm saying, to brainwash people?
The person, now listen, I don't have a conversation with that. I always deal with timeline.
Right.
Now, this person should be writing this down. Now, in antiquity, in ancient times, in ancient Mesopotamia, the eldest male in every family had to keep the history of the family. And now, these were the history of these families in ancient Mesopotamia were kept on what they call colophon tablets, C-O-L-O-P-H-O-N, colophon tablets. The colophon tablets would have the entire history of a family, and it ended with the phrase, now hear me, it ended with the phrase, these are the generations of Adam. Now, so these are the generations of was the end of the tablet, not the beginning. So Adam, so what does that mean? When you read the second chapter of Genesis, it says, and thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them, and the Lord rested on the Sabbath day. That was his tablet, the creator. Adam's tablet said, these are the generations of Adam. Everything that happened, and I think the second, third, fourth, and fifth chapter, it was cut off when he said, these are the generations of Adam. Adam wrote his own tablet. Then you get a tablet that said, these are the generations of Noah. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Noah's sons wrote his tablet. You understand? And these are called colorful tablets. And these fake seminary university professors know this, but they won't teach it. So when you read the tablet, it says, these are the generations of Esau. He wrote his own tablet. These are the generations. So what am I saying? To answer the question about the validity of the scriptures. The book of Genesis is a compilation of 11 colophon tablets that were written, that Moses took, combined, and wrote the book of Genesis.
And
now,
what was the tablets again you mentioned?
Pardon me?
The tablets, you mentioned tablets. What was that again?
Colophon.
Colophon.
C-O-L-O-P-H-O-N. They could Google it while we talking.
It's called, all right, so.
What I teach is factual. That's why I'm not afraid to go and look for it.
Okay, all right, cool. Let me just pull it up for them so that they could see.
They're gonna show you the research.
All right, cool.
And once you realize that this is what the white man teaches. The white man teaches, African history is a oral tradition to a barbaric people.
Okay, right.
Anybody that doesn't write anything down is a what? Is a barbarian.
Okay.
That means you don't have an alphabet. You understand?
Right.
So even if you don't have an alphabet, you never wrote anything down. You're what? You're a barbarian.
Okay.
So when you go and you look this up, you'll see on the colophon tablets.
Spell that for me. C-O-C-O.
C-O-L-O-P-H-O-N-E. Colophon.
P-H-O-N-E. Colophon tablets.
Tablets, and it'll explain it to you. That's something that you and your guys might have to look at that research on your own.
Yeah, I'm just.
Each one of those tablets ends. That's not when you hear the phrase. These are the generations of. That is not the beginning of the testimony. That is the end of that person's testimony.
Okay. All right. So let me just let them know, guys. Hold
on. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
So now the brothers say, well, you know, the rest of the scriptures were written by men, but Peter wrote this in First Peter. He said the Holy Scriptures are no private interpretation. But the holy men of God wrote as they were moved by the Holy Ghost.
Right.
And when you search the scriptures, you'll see that this angel showed up and told these brothers what to write. Okay.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm sharing, you know, the name of the let me just share my screen. Yeah, so they could see, so they could research for themselves, so they could see the name of that. All right. So guys, this is the name of the tablet that the brother is talking about. So I'm just pulling it up. so you guys could actually see it for yourself.
And tell them, hey, when you see the phrase, and they'll see it throughout the scripture. So the question is this: you know, some man wrote the scriptures, but let's put a timeline on the scriptures. The scriptures date back to 323 BC. The oldest scriptures that we have date back. They're called the Septuagint. And it's where 72 of the brothers Hebrews went down to Egypt and wrote the scriptures, or translated the scriptures into Greek for the Ptolemies. The second oldest scriptures that we have is the Latin Vulgate, that date to 380 AD, which is almost 2,000 years older than the King James Version of the Bible. Then we got Wycliffe's version. Then you got the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Qumran Scrolls. So guess what, guys? The fix is in, which means that the scriptures are true.
Okay, so now, all right. So now that you have given that timeline and you broke that down, right? Let me ask another question, right? Because again, the further I've done research, you know, and I've spoken to a lot of elders, they actually told me that, you know, even before the inception of, you know, whether it may be Christianity or the whole concept of the Bible, we didn't have that here in the Americas. So what do you have to say about that?
No, man, mankind is the crazy. But this is what the brothers don't understand. The Creator has been coming and going since He created man. He's always been here with us. You know, He comes, He checks on us, He goes back to wherever He's going. The scriptures teach that. He was there in the garden with Adam. He was there with Noah before the flood. He walked with Abraham.
So you believe? So do you believe?
We got a record of Him.
So
we're the only people on the planet, the so-called Hebrew Israelites, that have a record of the Creator coming down on Mount Sinai, giving us His statutes, His law, His 10 commandments. Now, you say, well, is there any proof of a Creator? Listen, man, the covenant that He made with Israel, the 10 commandments, is in every nation. It's part of the legal code of every nation on the planet.
So let me ask you: do you believe, or do you subscribe to the idea that Adam was the first man, that everybody came from Adam?
It's what the book teaches. People say, well, you know, what about the second chapter of Genesis, where the Lord says, "Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth." Well, you know, the earth was destroyed. You know, was there life here before Adam? Well, the dinosaur bones prove it. But was there a man before Adam? The book don't teach it.
Well, in essence, it actually does, because in the first chapter of Genesis, you know, there was a creation, you know, before Adam, where, you know,
but it don't say that there. Well, go ahead.
Where it says, you know, let us create man. And here's another thing: everybody is always
let us make man. But it wasn't the man that was talking. That was the God.
Well, yeah, I get that, but what I'm saying is that, right? A lot of times, you know, we tend to put the Creator, the Most High, in this bracket of this single body of a Him, right?
Well, you guys, there's nobody else you could put in there, because it says, "Let us create man."
But hear what I'm saying.
What else could create a man? It has to be something that's God-like.
But hear what I'm saying, brother. Hear what I'm saying, right? What I'm asking is this, right? And I'm going based on your Bible, and I call it your Bible because I don't think it's mine. And no disrespect, right? All right, so I'm asking this: in the very chapter of Genesis, it says, "Let us make man," right? So if us is plural, how can God be one man?
No, it ain't. He said, "Let us make man in our image and our likeness."
So who's the us? Who's the us? Who's the us?
The us is the Father and the Son.
The Father is the Son. So you're saying two men made children?
There's two gods.
Yeah,
the Father and the Son.
But how can? But here's my
1:10 and 1.
Here's my question, brother.
The Lord said to my Lord, "Sit on my right hand."
I get that, but here's my question.
In John, first chapter, He said, "In the beginning was the Word was God, and the Word was with God."
I get that.
Always with two, man.
I get all that, brother. But now we're reasoning, we're building. So let me get a chance to, put in the question, right? I you know, personally, again, that is just me. I'm just going based on what nature shows me, right? I have never seen two men make a baby, right? So at the end of the day, in that picture that you are bringing to me right there, the woman is not there. Where's the woman? How could God make children without a woman?
The book gives an account that He made man from the dust of the earth. There was no woman involved. But the first man was made out of the dust of the earth. And then He said, He made a comment. He told Adam in the day when he said he was going to die, "From dust you are, dust you shall return." And guess what happens every day when a man dies? After a while, take a minute.
But here's the thing.
He does return to the dust.
But here's the thing, brother. Even in the book, it said that after Adam was created, God said that, you know what? He don't think that man should be alone. Shouldn't God have known that from the very beginning? And at the ending of the day,
I don't understand the relevance that it has to the fact that he created a man and then he put the woman to sleep.
It has
genetically created a woman. What is the point?
It has relevance, brother. Here's the point. In the very first chapter in Genesis, man, male and female was created. So apparently that was created, it wasn't created out of dust.
No, that's not what the book says. First, that's what you don't understand. Let me open up the understanding. The first chapter is a blueprint where he gives the blueprint like he told Moses. Don't forget to make everything that I showed you according to the pattern that I showed you on the mount. So what the Creator does in the first chapter, he gives you the blueprint, and then in the second chapter, he goes on, he tells you, and I think Genesis 2:1-4, he says, there was no man to till the ground because he had not caused the rain on the earth yet. And then he goes on to form the man in that second chapter. So he gives the description of what he was going to do in the first chapter. And then in the second chapter, he actually does the work.
And here's
the first chapter is a blueprint.
And I get that. And I get the whole blueprint concept. But at the end of the day, if the blueprint was already there, why in second Genesis you were saying that I don't think man should be alone when you already have the blueprint? So for me, my thing is this, right, brother? And that's why I don't like, me personally, I don't like to discuss religion. It's to each his own.
He said it's not good. Man should be alone.
But he should have already known that if he had already created the female. You already had the blueprint.
I don't understand how that kills the creation because he made a comment about it.
No, but what I'm saying, hear what I'm saying though. If the blueprint was meant for a man and a woman to be created, why only create Adam and then say, okay, you know what, man? I don't think that. Yeah.
If you build a planet and then you leave and you say, okay, this guy Adam's gonna be in charge of the planet. So you dealing with a young king or a young prince. That's what Adam was. And not only that, Adam was a god because he had no sin in his life. So at that point, before sin crept in, man was what? Man was a god because Adam was the son of God. He had no sin in his life, so he was godlike. And the book even teaches that after he fell, the book says, this man has become like one of us, to know the difference between good and evil, but sticking to the point. The Lord was teaching that. You kind of like your oldest son. What do? You pull him to the side, you show him everything. Why? Because he's going to be the God, the king, or he's going to manage this planet. And he was instructing the man. So then he said, no, it ain't good that this dude should be by himself. Let me give him a helpmate. That does not detract from armor or I am skills.
But I get all that, brother. But what I'm saying is this, man. You know, and you have to get where I'm coming from. If you don't, then that's fine. But what I'm saying is, if God had already created animals, each animal had a male and a female counterpart, right? So why would you just say, okay, let me just create a man, and then later, you know, Adam is.
I don't understand why God did that.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. To me, that just doesn't add up, because if you have enough sense to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna make an animal, male and female, and then the man that's supposed to be have the, you know, the to rule all over and have dominion, you forgot that he needed a partner. I mean, again, I'm not trying to make fun.
I don't understand where you're going with this.
No, where I'm going.
So what are you driving at?
No, where I'm driving is this. Is that to me, I'm just gonna put it out there. I just think personally that it is to each his own in the belief of the Bible. Okay, you know, if some people want to subscribe to it, that's great. But me personally, I don't think that two men sitting in the sky sat together and made people. You know what I mean? The Creator has shown us an example of how the Creator meant for it to be, male and female. And it only takes male and female to create in the flesh and in the spirit, because the word is the spirit, right? And if in the beginning was the word, that means that the word is the spirit. And if the word became flesh, that means male and female became flesh and not just a man.
That's not what that means,
brother. But you said, again, it goes on perception, brother. It goes on perception. It's interpretation.
That's not what it means.
But what I'm saying, no, it's interpretation. Remember.
What John was teaching in that first chapter of John was this. That in the beginning, the word was the spirit, he was sitting on the right hand of the Father. He was called the Word because he brought the message. He was the messenger. But that in the end, when he came when he put on flesh and dwelt amongst men, that's what he meant. He said at the beginning was the Word was God.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on, I'm almost finished.
Yeah.
The Word was God, and the Word was with God. So that's two.
Yeah.
So what he said was, he said the Word put on flesh, which was God, and dwelt amongst men. That's why his name was called Emmanuel. It meant God with us, or God with man.
I get all that. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this, right? What, you know, for in creation, okay, the Most High has showed us that so as above, so is below, okay? Now, if it takes a man and a woman to make children, then the Trinity is actually a man, woman, and child, and not two men and a child. To me, that's promoting homosexuality. No disrespect.
What two men you refer to? We don't have two men in the church.
But no, but what you're saying is it's God and his son that created people. Where's the woman?
Right, well, they're spirit beings. These are not two flesh beings.
It doesn't matter, brother. It doesn't matter.
You talking about a higher level
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this. I'm talking about where is the woman? Nobody, whether it's in this, brother.
That's your question because you kind of sharp. You making me laugh, though.
No, it's not funny because what I'm saying is no. Before you ask the question,
I'm my question, brother.
Yeah.
In our generation,
yeah.
Is there a man? Is it necessary to have a man for a woman to have a child?
You know, right now, presently.
Yeah.
You need the sperm of you need the sperm of a man.
Have to be present. All you gotta do is take his egg.
You need the sperm of a man.
And splice her egg, and now the woman's impregnated. Now, if a man could do this in our generation, why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult for you to grasp this little simple concept of what took place in the Garden of Eden?
Because you still need the sperm of a man.
But the Lord did it backwards in the garden.
But God is not backwards, brother. God is always moving forward.
Did he do it backwards in the garden? He created the man first.
No, bro.
He took a rib from the man and genetically spliced.
Brother, let me ask you.
That?
Let me ask you which one came first. The chicken or
the possible?
Brother. Here again.
I'm asking the question. Is that possible?
No, it's not possible, and I'll tell you why. Because guess what?
Then what is cloning?
But whether we deal with cloning or not, I'm talking about a supreme being. Okay.
He called the woman from Adam.
Brother, a supreme being. A man didn't come from.
I can't answer.
Brother,
I can't tell you the mindset of the Creator.
Brother.
Why they did it the way they did it. That's just the way it came down.
Brother,
script, man.
And let me tell you, and that's why I don't like to discuss religion, because you see, it's taking us off what I was intended. Because I know religion is meant for confusion, and I'll tell you why. Because but here's the thing.
Remember we said earlier,
brother, I'm asking.
The reason together.
We are reasoning, but brother, we are. Check this out. Time out for a second, brother. Time out. When we were talking about history, you were giving me a chance to talk. I was giving you a chance to talk. Now we're talking about religion. All of a sudden, I can't get a word.
Man, I'm a real good guy.
I'm not saying that you are not.
You did the wrong.
No, I'm not saying that you are not. But now we're talking about religion, and you're overshadowing me, and you're not giving me a chance to speak, right? And so all I'm just saying, if we're reasoning.
That's not my intention.
Okay, so here we go, and that's what religion does. That's why I don't mess with religion, because all religion is man-made. You see what I'm saying? All religion is man-made. It is.
Religion is the word religion is a Latin word to mean religion.
I know what it means. I know what it means.
I told you earlier. The Hebrewism is a way of life. It is not a religion.
And I get that, but it's your way of life that shouldn't be imposed on everybody, because that's not everybody's way of life. That's what I'm saying.
We don't impose.
No, because that's what I'm saying. Because here, you know how it's being imposed? By pushing the narrative that everybody came from Adam. I didn't come from Adam, because Adam is not the original man. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, who is the original man?
The original man is the I am in me, that breath of life. You feel me? The spirit is in me. The creator has always been in me. I was never created. Okay, I have always been. The flesh came into creation, but the real me, the spirit, is still part of the Most High. Okay, and that is immortal. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I can't kick against your beliefs, because I was always taught that a fool speaks about a matter before he hears about it. So I don't know about the matter, so I can't. So, but brother, it's quite evident that the Creator meant it and gave us nature to look at, to see how things are. Okay, it takes a man. It takes a man. It takes a man and a woman. It takes a man. It takes a man. It takes a man and a woman to create. It takes a man and a woman to create. And no woman didn't come from a man's rib. Every man is a woman that came from a woman's rib. Huh?
Have you ever heard of the Kokomo dragon?
I've never heard of the Kokomo dragon. No.
It's called a Kokomo dragon.
No.
And what it does is it can procreate without a male being present.
Oh, I've heard of asexual animals, but I'm not. But I've heard of.
These are facts.
Yes.
I'm stating. You have chickens that can do it.
I'm not disputing that.
You also have a boa constrictor can do it. These three species can procreate without the male species being present.
Yeah, but I'm not an animal, brother. You see, I was made. You see what I'm saying? So I know that. I know they're asexual animals, but what I'm saying is the Creator made me to be the highest form. All right, to have dominion over all the animals. So therefore, if I'm made in the likeness and image of the Most High, that means I'm not going to compare myself to an animal. I'm going to compare myself to a God, in want of a better word.
I really don't hear me out. I gotta go pick some people up.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, we'll build again, and I know you gotta go. But guess what?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
If you want to do a debate on this subject,
I don't debate, brother. I don't debate. I don't debate, brother. I don't debate. I just like to build.
We can do it. It can be friendly.
No,
but I don't have a problem doing a debate on this subject.
No, here's the thing. I don't debate. What I would rather do is the next time you come on, I just want the history and the facts that my people could come together and reclaim what's ours. I don't want to discuss religion because I already know what it does.
I thought the dialogue was good.
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I like the questions that people presented.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I thought they presented some real intelligent questions.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And like I said,
that's all I want to say.
Yeah,
brother.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. And what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm still gonna get the book because I need the information. So give me a call on Monday. Let me get that information so we could, because I'm working on the history right now. Yeah.
But again, I enjoyed the dialogue.
Thank you so much.
To everybody that came online today, peace be unto you all.
Yes.
I mean that.
Indeed, brother. And I appreciate the time. And we're gonna do this again, and we're gonna deal with more of the history.
Just say, we'll be okay. We'll get there.
We're still working it out.
Right,
I appreciate you, brother. All right. Peace. Yeah, so guys, and that's why for me, I'll tell y'all one thing, right? For me, I don't like to, I don't debate. You see, that's why you see what debating does. I don't do that. This is not the platform for debating, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, yes, we could do a build. That's why I don't like to talk about religion like that. You feel me? Because I know it's to each his own. You telling me that, first of all, the us, which is plural in first Genesis, it's only God and his son. So only God and his son say, let us make man and woman in our likeness and image. Well, for you to make a woman, you have to have had a woman to know what a woman looked like. So where's the blueprint for the woman? Now you're telling me it's a blueprint. And in the second chapter, God said, okay, you know what? Let us make Adam. Let us forget the blueprint that we already had. We had a blueprint, male and female. But I'm just going to put Adam in a garden, forget the blueprint that there was a woman involved in the picture. So what are you trying to, God is sexist? And then he remembered, it's not good for man to be alone. Let me make a woman from Adam's rib. Now, how could you not just make the woman the same way you made Adam from the dust? I mean, that's why I don't get into these religious debates, man. And then we building good on history. You allow me to talk, ask my questions. Now all of a sudden the religion, I'm asking you questions that it's difficult to answer. Now you don't want me to talk. I mean, I have a lot of respect for the brother and with the historic aspect of things. But when it comes to the whole religion and the Bible and man, listen, man, like they just can't let it make sense because to me, it is just all hearsay. You see what I'm saying? Man decided to write these books to control people, all right, and take people to, from their true essence of their innate being. You feel me? And that's just what it is. The Creator gave us nature. Man and woman create. All right. So the whole idea of just promoting that God is two men, or the Godhead is just two men, then where's the woman? And that's what we are dealing with today. It is the same concept of the Europeans, you know what I'm saying, their system that's teaching us how to disrespect our women, put our women down like they don't exist. It's the same thing. Even in the Bible, what it says, the woman should sit down, shut the hell up, and let the man talk. If she want to preach, she got to ask her husband for permission. I mean, come on, man. I can't go for that. I can't go for that. You know what I mean? I can't go for that. Now, here's the thing, right? There is nothing wrong in using the Bible as from a timeline to come, to do a comparison with history. Okay, because to me, it's just another book, like any other book where you could go information and cross-reference. All right. So I was cool with that because he was dropping some real information when it came to the history. Because I've always known in my spirit, that's what my ancestors showed me, that we have always been here. Okay. And we didn't come from Africa. Now, again, it's a contradiction because if you agree that life didn't originate in Africa, and yes, the further back we go into antiquity, Africa is called Libya, granted. America wasn't on the map because we were not discovered yet, okay, granted. But we were still, you admitted that we were still here. And you admitted that people was all over the earth. So how the hell did everybody come from Adam? And then Adam and Eve only had two sons, Cain and Abel. Where did the rest of these people come from? Where did the rest of these people come from? I mean, you have to ask legitimate questions, and then it's always a thing, well, I don't know how God decided to do it. Stop making excuses for this God, man. Like, stop making excuses. Like, we cannot make excuses for ourselves. Ignorance is no excuse. So why am I making excuses for this God? You feel me? So all I'm just going to say is this, and that's one of the reasons why I was trying my best not to get into this whole religion thing. I don't debate. I don't do that because it changes your mood. It changes your energy. I just want to build facts. I don't want to come into concepts, and I know for a fact that that Bible wasn't here in the Americas. So that's not our book. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't believe in a creator. It doesn't mean that we don't believe in the Most High. We just didn't call the Most High what y'all call the Most High. And we just don't believe in the Adam and Eve story. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and for me, it's about respecting each other's boundaries, man. If that is your way of life, because you say it's not a religion, it's a way of life. If that's your way of life, then I respect it. You feel me? But respect the fact that there are other nations and families on earth, okay, that wasn't their way of life. That wasn't their way of life. In every tribe here in the Americas or clan, they had different concept of what the creator was. And that's just my thing. So at the ending of the day, man, you know what? I gotta say thank you to Brother Lee Cummings for giving us, information on the history. A lot of that stuff was, that honestly was well received. Okay, because I've been really doing research and in search, and what's resonating with me is exactly what he was saying in the beginning of the build. All right. But once he took the turn to the whole religion thing, again, that is just to me the negative forces out there. You feel me? The negative forces out there that's creeping in to bring religion into the mix to cause some type of debate and confusion. And that's what I don't do. I don't do the debates. I'm avoiding that. You know what I mean? So, and then when I'm asking the questions that's hard for you to answer, now I can't even get in a word. Now, all of us, you had time. You had a lot of time, but all of a sudden I'm asking some real questions. Now you got to go help people out. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, let's be real about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real about it. But at the end of the day, family, it was a beautiful build. All right. I'm not taking anything away from the brother. That is his way of life. Okay. He said it's not a culture. That's his way of life. And I have to respect it. But just respect the fact that it's not my way of life. You feel me? I don't subscribe to Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? That's just me. Because based on the Bible, the world is only 6,000 years old. All right. And there is enough archaeological research to show that the world is billions of years old. So how could Adam and Eve be the first people? That just doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? And if in the beginning was the word, so therefore the word, you know, let us make man and woman, you know, on image. So that's words. So if in the beginning was the word and in the beginning was male and female, how is that God is going to forget the blueprint and only make Adam? What happened to the blueprint? Isn't that what a blueprint is for? If we have a blueprint, right, we have to follow the blueprint. It's that simple. Don't just say, well, oh, you know what? Son, because they say it's father and son, right? Son, we made a blueprint, right? So we're gonna make man in our own likeness and image. Here's the blueprint, okay? Male and female. That's what we're gonna make. That's the blueprint. But all of a sudden, you know what? In the second chapter, God is saying, well, you know what, man? Listen, I know we got the blueprint, but however, scratch that, because you know what, Jesus or Yeshua, I didn't like that idea anyway. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make Adam for now. But granted that all the other animals, they got mates, they got male and female, they getting their groove on, you know, donkeys humping donkeys, you know, buffaloes humping buffaloes, and giraffes humping giraffes. And Adam is here lonely by himself. I don't know what he got to do, but he got to get his off. But now, oh, guess what? Let's go back to that blueprint, because it's not meant for Adam to be alone. Well, duh, you made the blueprint. And now, instead of going through all the trouble of breaking Adam's rib to make a woman, why didn't you just make the woman the same way you made Adam? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Like, come on. I'm asking real questions. I'm not trying to be funny or joke or make fun of people's way of life. But stop trying to tell me, man, you know, stop trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make any sense. And you tell, well, I can't question God. No, I am questioning God. Because if I have parents and I don't understand something, I'm going to question my parents. So if God made me in his, her, their likeness and image, I have questions. I have questions. Is it a sin to ask questions? Should I be afraid to ask God questions? No. And that's what these people want you to do, man. Be afraid of your creator. Why should you be afraid of your creator? And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm not going to be afraid of my parents. Why would I be afraid of my parents? If my parents is supposed to be loving, okay? Loving, understanding, unconditional love. Why do you want me to be afraid of you? Nah, it ain't working like that, man. That's why we have to question everything. And I tell people like this, right? It doesn't matter what you call the Most High. There's only one universal creator, okay? And they all have all these different names. And like I told y'all before, why does the creator have all these different names, but yet still the devil only is one name? The devil, that's it. That poor devil. Because it was meant to create confusion. That's what it was. Meant to create confusion, separate people, and divide people. That's exactly what it was created for. And man created that. Okay? Man created that. Paul didn't have a Bible. John didn't have a Bible. Okay? Jacob didn't have a Bible. James didn't have a Bible. All right? All these people who claim to be walking with Yeshua or Jesus, everybody was his best friend, but yet still they all wrote a book about him, except Jesus or Yeshua never wrote a book about himself. So at the end of the day, man, you know what I mean? I tell people, like, it's to each his own. And that's why for me, I'm trying my best not to get into this religion thing on this channel, because it makes you, I don't know, but let's get back on track to for talking about our history and the build that was really taking place, where there was synergy, okay, from the very beginning of the conversation. And like I said, I thank the brother, for coming on, and I respect, his standpoint on his way of life. I'm not gonna tell him he's wrong. I would never do that. That's his belief, that's his way of life. It is just not mine, okay? And I'm not telling you what you need to let your way of life be. I am looking at what we have in common right now. What's happening to our people, finding ourselves, identifying who we truly are. All right. That's where I'm at with it. Okay. So the brother has information where we could get the original chatters. All right. Where we could get documents. All right. Where they had, eyewitness accounts. So I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to get that information, and then I'm going to present that information to you guys. All right. So that's just where I'm at with it. All right. But I'm not going to do this religion thing and whose God is the right God. And I'm not going to do none of that. All right. If you say that we all came from the Creator, then why does one person why does one set of people name got to be the wrong name? I mean, come on. Like, I mean, if we have a right to identify, don't God have a right to self-identify as well? So that means that how many of us walk around call ourselves different names? I mean, let's be real. You see what I'm saying? So people, you see what's happening with people who practice religion and who practice. Hey, okay, that way of life. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful. Well, I'm not just talking about him per se. I'm speaking in general, right? What happened to people who practice religion is this. Because of the indoctrination, they take, and I'm going to use that word God very lightly, they take God, okay, as this one track mind creator. You see what I'm saying? No, God is just like us. You see, God created us in his, their likeness and image. So God is just like us. God is jovial. Okay, God is serious. God get angry, and God love. God make mistakes, just like us. You see what I'm saying? Because we are God in the flesh. But you see, it's just the whole concept of religion that got people so indoctrinated. And even in the Bible, I could prove to you that there were errors in creation. You feel me? Because when God was created, okay, in the very beginning, in fact, you know what? Let me go look. I don't want to. And this is something I really didn't want to get into, but let me just get into this. Let me show y'all something. Okay. Let me just get into this, right? And Jehovah Witness do that to me all the time. All right. They get into a conversation. When I start asking serious questions, they gotta go. And nah, man. You know what I mean? Like, answer those questions. And when you can't answer the question, you saying, oh well, you know what? I cannot question God. That's how God wanted it. Nah, that's not good enough for me, fam. That's not good enough for me. Because if you know everything else, God was saying that you should know everything else that I'm asking. You feel me? Let me see. Give me a second, guys, while you guys build here, right? Let me see. What time is it? Okay, minutes to 6. Okay. All right, because I got another build. Oh, and just so you guys know, okay, at 7 p.m., I'm doing a build with Brother Crumb Snatcher on Crumb Snatcher TV. So please, all right, check that out. Let me see. And God said, let there be light. Further down, God said, let water. And all right, cool. 21, so God created creatures that are, and God said, let the land. Then God said, let us make man like his image, that they may rule over the fish in the sea, livestock, and he created the move of the water. All right, cool. So God created in his own image, in the image of God, and made them female. God blessed them and said, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue, rule over. Let me look at, give me a second here, guys. All right, we about to get something real quick. I may have to conclude this live soon because I gotta again, I'm gonna let you guys know. Please tune in. If you don't know who Brother Crumb Snatcher is, go to Crumb Snatcher TV. All right, it is CRUMBSNATCHER TV. I'm gonna be live on his platform at 7 p.m. All right, Eastern time. So literally, I'm just gonna be done here, and I'm gonna get ready for that. I'm gonna eat something real quick, and then I'm gonna get ready for that. All right. So let me see. Let me go all the way down. All right, good. Image. All right, good. Now, let us look at something here real quick, because this is what this, you see, a lot of times religious people, you know, they look at things from one perspective, from the an indoctrinated mindset. And I'm just going to share this with you guys real quick. And that's one of the reasons why I don't debate religion. I don't debate religion, okay? Because religion takes you away from everything else that's relevant. And I'm just keeping it real. So let us go all the way down. This is Genesis 1, the King James Version. All right. And God, let us look at created, multiply and fill the waters, and God did it in one. Okay, right. And God said, let us, all right, cool. And God said, let the beast. And then 26, God said, all right, cool. Let us look at 26. Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image, right? So let us make man in our likeness and image. So let me ask you a question. And that's why they always have to run. Because when you see Chief Kalinago start asking some real questions that a deity would ask, they start running. So we're going to use your same Bible that you were talking about. Genesis 20, chapter 1, verse 26. God said, let us make man in our likeness and image. All right, beautiful. So if God said, let us make man in our likeness and image, and the image was male and female, how is that God is a man? I'll wait. I'll wait. I'm going to read that again. I didn't make it up, right? Genesis chapter 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Hold up. And let them, I thought man was singular. Let them. So what? God was only creating man alone? That sounds like, you know what I'm talking about. That sounds like Obama was president at that time. I'm going to read it again. And God said, let us make man in our likeness and image, after our likeness. So if God had only created man, well, Obama is his president. Okay? Let's read again. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the brother is saying that God, the us in Genesis is plural. All right, so it's the Godhead. Who's the Godhead? God and his son. So where did the female come from? But let us go to the next verse. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, him, male and female. So if God telling you, I'm going to create you in my likeness and image, I'm going to create you, him and her, in my image, how are you going to tell me that God and Jesus and Yeshua, they're talking about two men? Why wasn't God talking to his wife? Why wasn't God talking to his wife the same way he gave Adam a wife? And here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting. 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish? Do you know that anytime there is re in front of any word, that means to do over again? So what happened to the people that was there before? Huh? Oh, I guess they don't want to hear that part. They got to go. But like I said, that's why I don't like to debate religion, because they never want to come and run into Chief. I don't debate. I bring facts. Okay? I bring facts. Let me read that one more time. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Okay? Replenish, just like how we said religion. Well, there was a legion. Guess what? There was already plenish, meaning that people was already there. And for whatever reason, God destroyed them. God got rid of them. And God said, you know what? Let me create this new breed of people, okay, in our likeness and image, because those that were there wasn't in my likeness and image. Y'all want to really let me tell y'all the truth? Or maybe that we made something that we wasn't supposed to make. So we had to get rid of them. Because guess what? In creation, there was error and trial, just like a baby. What did God say? Go back to being a child. What do children do? Children make mistakes. They fall, they get up, they walk, they bump their head. It's the same thing. Okay? God learned to be perfect through us by creation. man, let me stop, because they don't want a part of this. They don't want a part of this. Nah. They don't want a piece of chief, man. That's why they always got to run. You feel me? Run, Forrest. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop. Stop it. All right? Stop it. You feel me? Stop. Because, brother, hold on for a second. I'm gonna ask. Because at the ending of the day, I'm about to wrap this up. At the ending of the day, brothers and sisters, okay, there was a creation before the whole concept of the blueprint. Okay, that wasn't even the blueprint. The blueprint had already been made, because man always existed. There was never a time that man never existed. You feel me? Because God is man in the flesh and man is God in the spirit. So as above, so is below. It's even in the Bible. You did. So at the ending of the day, y'all got to realize, stop playing the games with people, man. That indoctrination got to stop. Okay? Replenish means that to do over again. To do over again. Because when the Most High, that energy, that intelligence, realized that it could move, that it could create, it was excited. So it started creating things from the very beginning. The earth was filled with void. What is void? The color of void is what? The color of void is white. Okay? The color of void is white. Now think of it as an artist. I've mentioned that before. I've explained that before. The creator is an artist. Hence the cosmos, the makeup. Okay? The cosmos, the makeup, cosmetic is makeup. So therefore, the earth was filled with void. Void is white. Okay? So therefore, the thought, that dot, that black dot is what was thrown into the void. And the creator realized, oh man, I'm creating something. Hold up. But it was moving too fast. Okay? So the creator had to slow down the vibration. Okay? Slow down the vibration because it was moving in the speed of light. All right? Then the creator had to do what? Slow down the vibration again. Then it had to be gas. Slow down the vibration again. Then it had to be a liquid. Slow down the vibration again. Then it had to be a solid. Hence, the word became flesh. They don't want no part of chief, man. They don't want a part of me. So with trial and error, God created a perfect, their children perfectly. Okay? The first spiritual, if we have physical parents, we have spiritual parents. You feel me? And every culture, every tribe, nation, family had their own concept of what the creator was based on their own understanding. Okay? So nobody is wrong. People just have different names. That's just all it is. So come on. All right? But at the end of the day, man, I don't think they want a piece of me. They don't want a piece of me. I could sit down, all right? And the reason why I would refrain from doing it is because they always get hype and want to turn it into a debate. I don't debate. If we're gonna have an argument, okay, and people have these two words mixed up. An argument means to reason and build, to come to a conclusion. All right. Debate means to beat each other. I don't do that. But if you want to have an argument, we could sit down and go point to point. And let's start from Genesis. And right in the first 2 chapters, I'm going to shut you down and let you realize that that whole thing was man-made. You feel me? So let us just leave these people religion alone and focus on us. All right. And focus what we got to do together as a people to restore our birthright in our homeland. All right? That's just what it is. Period. You feel me? And if the brother would like to come on again, okay, to drop that information in terms of the history, okay, I will deal with that. But I'm not going to get into the religious thing. I'm not going to do that. All right? So, guys, I'm about to conclude this live. All right? I'm going to eat something because I have to build with Brother Crumb Snatcher, all right, TV. T God, if you can, do me a favor, put on the link for the 7 p.m. build so that, you know, the folks, if they, you know, so that they could, you know, just kind of like, you know, go to the other channel, Crumb Snatcher TV, so that they could get on the build. All right. But guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. Man, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this because I definitely, one thing we have to realize is this, like I tell people before, things that don't resonate with you, okay, it's fine. You don't have to subscribe to it or adhere to it. But the information that resonates with your spirit, use it. Okay, let's take what we feel or that resonated with our spirit. You know what I'm saying? As long as it could bring us peace, well, not peace, as long as it could bring us wholesomeness, love, and light, and allow us to learn to respect each other, regardless of what lifestyle you claim in terms of your religion. You feel me? Then we just got to respect each other. But don't push it and make it a general thing and say, we all came from Adam and Eve. I didn't come from Adam and Eve. I don't know who the hell that is. I don't know who that is. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I don't subscribe to that. I don't. Okay? I really don't. So, you know, and that's just me. I'm not asking anybody to follow anything that I'm saying. All right? Whatever you feel in your heart that resonates with you when it comes to your spirituality or your faith, please, as long as it makes you live good with your fellow man and woman, then it works for me. All right? I'm not here to condemn anybody's faith or their practice or their way of life. All I'm just saying is that don't impose it on everybody and tell everybody that's the truth. No, that is your truth. And that is the truth of your people. Okay? But it's not everybody's truth. And that's what religion does. Religion separates people. Okay? It separates people, and I can't do that. All right? So if the Creator, you know, gave us the blueprint that you are supposed to come from a man or woman, that you're telling me about cloning. Why would cloning come into the picture? Cloning is artificial intelligence. I don't deal with artificial intelligence. I deal with the universal intelligence, the original intelligence. So cloning shouldn't even be a factor. They're trying to imitate what the Most High did. And that's what you're using as proof for the Most High? Nah, man. That's not good enough for me. Because the Creator that I know, the Most High that I know, okay, is just like me. But it's just that in this flesh, all right, I'm able to be jovial, make mistakes, and do what I got to do. All right, but when I go back to the source, that spirit, man, listen, I'm going to step back into perfection. You feel me? So that's just what it is. All right. So no doubt, man. So, you know, big up to all, the family, man, all the clans and families across Turtle Island. You feel me? This is our time. We are uniting, and these bills are absolutely important. And you know what? It went the way it was supposed to go. All right. I'm glad that the religion aspect of things came in, because it shows you, all right, that everything was going great until religion came up. And that's what religion does. That's what religion does. I have seen it in every single family. All right. Religion break up homes. So how are you going to tell me that is of the Creator? No, the Creator is not about division. All right. And that's what religion does. It is division. Okay. But what do I know? Like I said, I don't know anything. I'm still learning. I'm a master student. All right. But this student ain't just anybody's fool. All right. I'm a fool, but I'm not just anybody's fool. All right. For real. So with that being said, the brother did confirm, and he have the proof of the 13 original chapters that, yes, like I've always said on this platform before, the original Brits and the nobles that came here to form the 13 colonies, they were dark skinned. We knew that. They bought land from us. We were doing commerce with them. All right. And he did agree that they were Moors, but they were just Moors. They're just Jews or Hebrews that call themselves Moors. So either way, whether they were Hebrews or Moors or Jews, man, listen, it is what it is. All we know is that they are guests in our home. And that was clarified. Okay. That was clarified. Okay. Number two, that we have always been here. All right. We have always been here. The further back you go into antiquity, I saw that map. Yes, Asia, Libya, and Europe. Okay, granted. But America wasn't on the map just yet because they hadn't discovered us yet, and they were not migrating to the side of our of that earth at that point. So it doesn't mean that we were not here. We were here. It's just that we hadn't intermingled just yet. All right. So all those things resonate with me. You feel me? All that resonate with me. But some of the things I may have to research. But once it started coming into the religion thing, I realized it was going to go a little to the left. And that's fine, because it was to the right, to the left. So there was a little bit of balance. So that's fine with me. All right. So at the end of the day, man, we're gonna continue to bring these bills. All right. And we're gonna continue to make this thing happen, to put in this work. You feel me? Let's just do this, man. Let's just do this. Remember, brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, we are all made in the likeness and image of the Most High. Okay, so if the Most High, if we're gonna use that term God, all right, which I use very lightly, then we are all gods. If we're gonna use the term deity, then we are all deities. Because like I tell people before, and those are the questions that they refuse to answer. If a dog had a dog, what is it called? A dog. Okay, if a cat had a cat, 200 years, 10,000 years ago, what is it going to be called in 2019? It's going to be called a cat, right? If a horse had a horse 400 years ago, what is it going to be called in 2019? It's going to be called a horse, all right? So from the beginning of time, if the creator had children, they are creators. If you want to use the term God, if God had children, then they are what? They are gods. If you want to use the term deity, then if God had children, then they are deities, all right? So I'm not going to let nobody take that away from me with their religion or their religious or their way of life to indoctrinate me. I know who I am, all right? And I was made in the likeness and image of the Most High, so I'm going to claim that, all right? Because I did not claim to be the flesh, all right? The real me, okay? The real me that was made in the likeness and image of the Most High is in me, and then the flesh is just a host. I don't think they want a piece of cheese. They don't want that, all right? So guys, I'm gonna see you guys at 7 p.m. on Crumb, Brother Crumb's channel, Crumb's Snatcher TV at 7 p.m. I'm gonna be a host on there, hosting and a guest at the same time. But the brother and I, he's just showing some love and introducing me to his platform. So I thank him for that. And like I said, we got work to do. All right. Again, the proof every day we getting a little piece of the truth. All right, so family, let us just take the truth from everything. All right, take the truth from here, the truth from there, and eventually we're going to come together with the whole. We know that we have been here. We know that the indigenous is the same thing as Indians. All right, so we putting these pieces together. All right, the brother did say he know for a fact that yes, if they're going to look at, the Moors are using this, semantics with the words, wordplay. All right, where sometimes they could. Well, more means dark skin or brown skin or copper or dark. So they have been here in that context. Okay, fine. All right. But this wasn't Africa. Okay. This is not Morocco. So we know that now. And we have always known that. So we're going to continue to put this truth out there. Believe that. All right. We're going to continue to put it out there. So with that being said, we're going to come together as a people, Turtle Islanders, okay, original Americans, whatever we're going to call ourselves. The point is, this is our home. And we have always been here, and nobody's going to take that away from us. So with that being said, I had a great time on this build. For those of you, man, listen, support the super chat, support the Cash App. Show some love, all right? Show some love, because I'm working tirelessly, man, to bring that information to you guys. I'm working tirelessly to bring the truth to y'all. You feel me? So at the end of the day, Kira, listen, man, listen. Your opinion is your opinion. And you could say whatever you feel, all right? I'm not here to please you or anybody. I'm just here to drop truth, okay? So I'm not even going to entertain that, all right? I'm not even going to entertain that. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do to make you happy, all right? This is what I'm going to do, because I don't play these games. I'm here doing work on behalf of my ancestors, and I ain't got time for people who are vibrating in low vibrational frequencies, to disrupt, because I know a lot of y'all are chaotic on the inside. And when y'all see something positive moving, y'all always want to come with your devilish and all the devil is, Satan is an adversary. So I realize, you coming on here to be an adversary. So I know exactly what I'm going to do. All right. So don't even stress it. I'm going to take care of you real quick. All right. But brothers and sisters, like I said, we're gonna make this move, man. We got work to do. All we got to do is continue to build. All right, continue to build, because don't forget, amongst us, man, we have people who are provocateurs among us. All right, so we're gonna get rid of all of them, because I'm not gonna entertain y'all. I'm not going to entertain y'all. I wouldn't do that. Okay, so that's just what it is. But anyway, I'm about to you know, conclude. Like I said, I got to do a build on another platform. So yeah, don't worry about it. I already blocked that fool. All right, I already blocked that fool. So we ain't even worried about that. The people who need to know me, they know me, and they know what moves I make. All right, so I'm not even gonna entertain that. All right, so I'm gonna see you guys. For those of you who are able to tune in, I'm gonna see you guys at 7 p.m. I'm about to eat some grub right now, and we'll talk a little later. I love you guys. Continue to build. Continue to love each other. We got a lot of work to do. Okay, a lot of work, and a lot of great things are coming. All right. Don't forget, we are still gonna be, you know, moving forward and doing our, you know, our matriarch build, where we're bringing, you know, the sisters, where we're bringing the children. You know what I mean? And that's what this is about. Like I tell people, I'm not about the debating. All right, it's straight out facts. If anybody can't come with the facts, and the facts don't necessarily have to be things that I always want to hear. No, I want to be able to, you could prove to me that what you're saying to be true. Give me the research, give me the information. If you can provide me with the research, then to me it's just an opinion. All right. So what's the conviction in my heart is that we have always been here, and this is our home, and nobody has ever proven me otherwise. And that's what I'm gonna rock with. All right. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll actually see you guys at 7 p.m. All right. Wholesomeness, love, light. Take care of each other and be good to each other.